Hello students, welcome to yet another video of our case study series. This case study I have tried to cover all the possible dimensions and also guide through you till the end as to how it should look like on the paper. If you further have doubts with this, do watch till end. If you have any doubts, you can reach out to me. The details are in the description. One more thing, if you wish to join, we are starting up with a new module, ethics module batch. Details of the batch are also given in the description. So please continue with your video.
UPSC previous year question is the best thing I can tell you when it comes to kind of answering and trying for answer and things like that. So UPSC last year previous year questions good enough, so no need to worry about the questions per se, because see, point is it's not about that particular case. What we are through case studies, practice case studies, what we are trying to do is generally what happens, people's perspective towards case studies is a little problematic, where what they think is the case studies that might appear in the examination, if somehow I get a chance to solve the same case study now, so that it will be just a repetition in the exam, prediction basically. But aisa hota nahi hai, it won't happen like that. Okay, so in order to have that prediction kind of thing, people generally do more practice, but that's wrong approach. We do practice in such a way that any new case study also comes in examination, you are in the position to write an answer for that. That's the crux. So for that, previous year questions UPSC has given is more than enough for you. So that's the best way to practice for you also. Okay, so let us go one by one. Number one, the government is bringing certain changes in the labor laws. Let's understand the case. You know what is the modus operandi? We have discussed that in our case study lectures also, that at least 3 times you have to read. First time you have to read with a very fast kind of glance. After that you have to read it with thorough understanding with respect to answers, and third time you will be reading it when basically you will be perhaps in between writing the answers, or in between when you are doing your brainstorming. So initial brainstorming is very important in this thing, in case study. So because now it is 20 marks, that means you have how much time? Around 14 minutes. So when you have 14 minutes, means you can afford to give 2 to 3 minutes. We have discussed all this, but I'm just repeating because it's important. So you have 14 minutes, means you can give 2 to 3 minutes for brainstorming or rough work, whatever you want to call it. Okay, and rest of the 12 minutes, 11 to 12 minutes, to write the case study, which is more than sufficient. Please try to understand. And only thing is, you need to have that much practice, otherwise it won't happen that way. So it's all about practice. Okay, so initial 2-3 minutes क्या करना है? पढ़ना है case study. We have to read. Then when you read the case study, what you have to do is understand that from the point of view of what questions have been asked. So let's read the case study. The government is bringing certain changes in labor laws, okay, which are being claimed by a section of media and academia as anti-labor. That's okay, that happens because some perspective is there that these are anti-labor. Now there is one person called Ramesh. Mr. Ramesh, a well-intentioned youth leader. Now here you should not doubt that he is well-intentioned, because it is given. There might be an honest mistake on his part, but that doesn't make him somebody who is unethical, somebody who is ill-intentioned for society. So he is well-intentioned, it's given. get influenced by the arguments of the protesters and organizes a peaceful protest against purported changes. So obviously वो protest करता है. Now there have already been small scale recurrent protests causing inconvenience to the common people. So already there have been small protests where people are having some problem because of that protest. Okay. Now, unfortunately, the protest organized by Ramesh goes out of his own control and becomes violent, resulting in damage to the public property. This happens like, he is a well-intentioned youth leader. So he is a leader, so obviously there will be people that will be following him, and he organized that thing, and what happens? People generally, it results into, it goes out of his hand and creates problem for the public property. Further, the violence gets blown out of proportion as a result of sensationalized reporting by section of media, leading to law and order situation in the city. So this is basically the problem. What happened is this unfortunate thing, or whatever you want to call it, undesirable thing is this. Now the administration is under immense pressure to take strict action and bring law and order under control. Okay, the police also gets enraged. Now police is also enraged because it happens sometimes. Now that would be the part of the question also. Can being into the system, being at the responsible position, can you be is it ethical or affordable for you to be enraged? You are enraged means you don't have emotional intelligence, you lack emotional intelligence. So enraged and decides to pick individuals and ensure exemplary punishment to them in order to send a message to the miscreants. Now this is slightly overboard that police have gone. Okay. Now the police takes strict action against those who could be identified and located through videographic evidence. So whatever evidence, everything, that is all correct, but it is, it's not police. Basically, it is not the police which has given an authority to punish anybody, but they are taking those things in their hand. Now the administration has also claimed that all the activities of the miscreants would be investigated and will be dealt with strictly. In case any illegality is found, Ramesh also gets included in the list and picked up by the police. यहाँ पे थोड़ा typo error है, police पूरा type नहीं हुआ, police. Okay. So यहाँ तक ठीक है, रमेश को उन्होंने pick कर दिया. Now what happens? Ramesh's house was illegally constructed and had not yet received proper permissions, became an easy target for the administration. Now here suddenly administration comes into picture, means administration and police having some kind of understanding. Okay. So on the notice by police, the local administration demolishes the house, an example of the swift and tough action. Now here problem, what is the ethical problem here? The punishment is given connecting two different behaviors. So basically a lack of emotional intelligence from part of the police. Now rationality also. This comes as a big shock to Ramesh and his family members. Many other participants of the protest also received similar response from the administration. Now there is a widespread condemnation of the demolition action. Obviously there is a lot of voice against it. Demolition, there is a widespread condemnation of the demolition action carried out by the administration. There are also some voices of approval to the action too. So some people, or substantial number of people, are in kind of agreement also to this particular action. Now why, in your opinion, question is, why in your opinion does the administration resort to such action? First of all, administration action is cannot be ethically justified. Now why do such actions get acceptance in the society? Because as we said, there is some approval, voices of approval also happening. So why do such actions get acceptance in society? This is the question. Now ethically analyze the actions of both Ramesh and the administration. Whose actions do you agree with and why? Okay, so the question is seen that very similar to what has happened, and for sure would have happened to many officers there. Perhaps they are required to, but here now what you're doing, you are kind of commenting on this from outside, okay, and evaluating these actions ethically. Now whenever answer is to be written, already there has to be some structure. What is the structure? First, always talk about the case. Okay, very briefly, but you please mention about the case. Then jump to question A, whatever it is. Now in this case it is reason behind administration action. Use this subheading, reason behind administration actions. Now this structure is very important for you to guide in the right direction. Okay, then in the same A, okay, same A, there is another question that is talking about, okay, why acceptance or reasons behind acceptance, another subheading. Okay, then ethically analyze the, okay, B is ethical analysis. Now this is exactly what your answer will look like, by the way. These are the subheadings. Ethical analysis. So in ethical analysis, you talk about administration action. Then comes Ramesh's action. These are subheadings. Now once you understand subheadings, then automatically, first of all, you will be able to cover all the topic that has been asked to you. Okay, and also what happens, you will be able to kind of guide yourself, your answer, so that it falls under the particular word limit, and also tries to cover all the possible topics. Okay, we'll do one thing. I'll put it in the format of pages only, so that it will be furthermore easy for you to understand. We had done this during our this thing also, case study preparation also. So 20 mark means generally you will have 4 pages to fill. Generally 5 pages, but 4 pages as in from start, because most of the time what happens, case study itself is still here. So now what do you do is you write the case here. Okay, I'll tell you what we will be writing inside. Then you write A, reasons behind. Now here, reasons behind action. Admin action. ठीक? Then you write inside the B only, reasons behind acceptance. Society mein why it is acceptance. These are also subheadings, huh? All subheadings. Then comes B, ethicality. Ethicality of actions. Okay, first is Ramesh and second is administration. Okay, So basically here, ethicality of administration action, like that will. Then ethicality of Ramesh's action. Then comes, okay, first of all, whose action do you agree and why? So then you have to write my agreement or I agree. And then you write justification. Now there will be little bit here and there. Maybe this will go here and subsequently this will go till here. It depends on the length of the answer, how many points you are going to write. But this much your answer should, in this particular format, you can have different wordings, innovative wordings, but the point is your A and B should be answered properly. Okay. Now, in the case, what you have to write is facts of the case. What exactly is, very briefly, in 1 or 2 or 3 lines, you can mention what are the facts. Then here my roles and responsibility won't work because I am not part of the situation, so that part won't be there. Then basically, again, ethicality is also kind of taken care later on. Okay, so again, that should not be repeated. So basically the facts of the situation, okay, and overall stakeholders. Now these are not subheadings. This is not subheading. These are the points you will be covering under this topic, under this subheading. So you can cover it point wise, like point 1, point 2, point 3. It depends upon how you want to write it. Like, for example, the case is the subheading. Then you write, what do you write? The protesters, though, like Ramesh, for example, Ramesh as a protester, though with a good intention, started the protest, but because it went out of his hand, created huge damage to the public property. And he must take the responsibility of it. Okay. On the other hand, police, showing lack of emotional intelligence, jumped into the conclusions and trying for some revengeful actions or actions as if they are the one who punish people and not the courts. So police cannot punish people, it is court who punish people. So that is another thing. And third, that there has been acceptance among the society because sometimes tit for tat is considered to be, or instant justice is considered to be a source of instant relief also for many. So that is wrong. You should not support it, right? Now comes the issue, reasons behind these actions. Now, what do you think are the reasons behind the action? So first and foremost is lack of emotional intelligence. Okay. Second, just going by letter of the law and neglecting spirit of the law. Okay. In some legal loopholes, you are trying to catch someone to vent out your vengeance, एक तरीके से, right? Then this another reason, the my baap culture or master slave mindset of administration. So master mindset of administration means they still think that they are the masters and not the servant of the public. So in that the case, they say the sense of ownership is there. Okay. Reasons behind acceptance, because as I say, people or people, or what we can say, mob or herd mentality, you can mention here because it's a negative thing. Leads to vengeance, leads to acceptance of vengeance, acceptance of vengeance as tool. It should not be there, but generally vengeance is accepted as a tool to deliver justice. Okay. So then sometimes this understanding is that punishment always works. So this is also understanding. Punishment as in strict punishment always works. Obviously lack of EI here also. And lack of sense of proportionality. Okay, then acceptance for tit for tat. Eye for an eye. Tit for tat ki jagah you can write eye for an eye. These are the reasons because of which there is sense of acceptance. Now, ethicality of administrative action. Ethical, you can write simple, and unethical. Ethical because, unethical because. Now, ethical is yes. Point is, somewhere they are trying to also save public property. That is okay. But second is lacks emotional intelligence, lacks integrity, lacks compassion, lacks dutifulness or law abidingness. Okay, many points. I'm just telling you some points where you can write. But most important thing that you should focus is how this flow of the structure goes. The moment you have these things like anchors, like milestones, then it's very easy for you to fill things here. And your answer becomes holistic, which covers many points. Okay, because covering maximum number of points is the most important. Ethicality of Ramesh's action. First of all, he's well intentioned. So again, here also you can write ethicality, ethical because, and here unethical because. Right? So why it is ethical, Ramesh's action? Ethicality because it was well intentioned. It was selfless also. Unethical because loss to public property, illegal construction, right? Then my agreement. They are asking as to what action do you agree with? Okay. So obviously, first of all the unethical actions you disagree with, though it is of Ramesh or that of administration. So you do not agree to this, but especially you do not agree to this administration's action against Ramesh or Ramesh's house. Why? Because this is disproportionate, family members are suffering. Third is not according to the procedure. Okay, violates compassion. Okay, then may further enrage the protesters. You never know, it may go completely out of hand. What happened in Kisan Andolan Delhi? Try to kind of curb it with force, it goes out of hand. Okay, it becomes much more problematic. So that's all. So all the answers that are been questions that have been asked, you answered. Okay. Any doubt here? Are you able to understand what I'm trying to say? Is it making sense to you? Basically, what I want to ask is it making sense to you, Mrugaja? Okay, so see, the point is, what I'm trying to say is, now we might think that no. Now it took around 30 minutes for us, less than 30 minutes. Yeah, less than 30 minutes for to discuss in detail everything. Just imagine, less than 30 minutes, around 25 minutes, for example, 25 to 26 minutes, we discuss this case study. 25 only. So if we can discuss so much details while explaining you in 25 minutes, we can finish it. Don't you think it will be very easy for you to finish in 14 minutes? Very easy. Only thing is, first step is to briefly have picture in mind. This structure you should have, the case, then you write facts and things like that. Then you have subheadings properly designed according to what is being asked. And then automatically you, and the dimensions that you're talking about, once you have separate things, okay, already, what happens? You automatically get kind of forced to think in a different direction, because you have to write some other thing in each and every dimension. So automatically your answer becomes, if somebody else reads your answer, automatically it becomes very, it becomes very easy for you to cover many things. So have you, Mrigaja, have you uploaded the test number 3 on portal? Why I'm asking, because I could not see it. Oh no, that's why. That's why. Anyway, if you're written, that's okay. Good. But upload so that if there are any improvements, I can suggest. Then